Welcome to Yellow Skunk Farms. Quick disclaimer, this is a 21-year-old and up channel, so if you're not 21 years or older, please leave now. We do not advocate or sell any type of illegal drugs on this channel. This is strictly a hobby and a personal home grow. Thank you very much. As you can see, if you've been following us, that Monstera, the monster Monstera, we kind of propped up, trying to keep a lot of it from just crossing over the pond here. See, it's just getting crazy big. Every day it gets bigger and bigger. The back leaf back there is just huge. It almost doesn't fit in the frame of the camera. I mean, look at these things. They're monsters, alright. And then if you're new, also, this is Digger's area, and Digger actually is our eastern box turtle, and he's back up in there right now in his little cave. And then we have our fish pond. This is a 200 plus gallon fish pond with pooter, our goldfish, and then we have two resident turtles here. There they are right there. That's Scooter, which is our female slider, eating algae right now. And this is Cooter, our male. And we have a lot of other fish in there too, just some bullhead minnows, algae eater, plinko, which is our big algae eater. I can't pronounce the name, but actually I see him right there. I see his head. There he is right there. See if he'll move. He ain't moving much though. So this, we have one pump. There's a pump over there in the corner. You can see it. And that pumps water up around the backside, back into the top here, coming down the mountain. And then that water flows through the creek. And this is what is watering our ladies in here and feeding the microorganisms along the edge of the creek and into the soil pockets. So yesterday we went live and we finally got time to cut out this dog fennel. We removed all of this grass, cut that back. We pulled all of this dog fennel out and then disconnect. So here's the creek wall right here. You can see the creek wall. Especially right here, it was wicking in a tremendous amount of water because all that sand and silt has turned into, organic matter, basically worm castings. And it was all that organic matter just wicks a tremendous amount of water. So what we did was we come through here and we disconnect the bridge and that water to be wicked up into that soil pocket. And I think that's one of the reasons why we're seeing the droopiness in these leaves here on this plant. It's weird because we're only seeing it in this plant, but only on a few stems of it. Like, this is the top of the plant. You can see we've pulled it back, pulled it down, kind of super cropping it. And then this is the top. And then you can see over here, these leaves aren't drooping. We do have this is one of the plants that does have the red streaking in the stalks. You can see the red streaking. It's continuously gotten worse if you've been following along just in this plant. And the reason I think is because of that water. We were getting too much water. This is the spot that we had Leighton look at our soil under a microscope about a month ago, and he was like, you're on your way to being anaerobic. There's too much water in there because of what he was seeing. And we removed a lot of that over there, but we did not remove anything here. And I think this side was more of the problem than that side. Because then I started digging in underneath all this, and man, it was soaked. Just literally soaked. So, and it was dumping water into the soil pocket, and this area here is just too saturated, and that was causing problems. It's causing uptake problems. And basically what's happening is that the nutrients in the veins, basically there are tubes inside of these stalks. So there are like 4 tubes, 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way around. They all connect. You can kind of see these tubes right here. So there's a tube here, and then a tube there, and a tube underneath that. And these can all be broken. You can see how they've been split in two right there when I kind of super cropped it, kind of twisted it and gave it a little knuckle there. But when I did, it pulled apart the tubes on the stalk, basically the veins. And that's what's flowing all those nutrients. And that's kind of why you can actually cut one of these tubes and it'll heal itself up, and then just use the other ones and just kind of bypass that wound. And that's why it doesn't die, because the vascular system inside the veins here, if something gets hurt, it'll just bypass that and go around the hurt spot, heal up the hurt spot, and then continue on to grow. What I think's happening in these veins here is that it's not flowing the proper nutrient. The balance is off, so to speak. And the reason the balance is off is because the soil's off. The biology in the soil is drowning, and they can't release the proper nutrients and the proper balance. And this is what's causing the plant to do what it's doing. It's reacting to whatever is happening down there. So as above, so below. So if we have problems up above, it's guaranteed we're going to have problems down below, because this is where the problem starts. Most of the time. I mean, you got your, a little bit of pest damage here and there, your thrip damage here and there, maybe some spider mite here and there, but all of that stuff, the larva in the soil is what we're trying to kill. So if they can't reproduce, they don't stand a chance. Can't tell if that's a bug or no. I don't think it is. No, it's just a piece of trash, or a little lint or something. That thing's got a lemon lime smell to it though. Goodness gracious, it is just like a Mr. Clean. Mr. Clean all day long. We also added some new sand, silt, clay, organic matter to the creek. You can see the color change. It's not as dark because that's all fresh sand, silt, clay, organic matter from the reservoir that's been composted. When I say composted, I just mean laid out in the driveway and let the sun compost it out until it got a good smell back to it, or no smell, which it did smell like a swamp because that's where we brought it up from. But once that sand and silt gets cooked by the sun, it cooks out all that bad biology and it's good to use. And then we can spread it along the edge of the creek. You can see how it just wicks the water. It stays wet all the time. And we just extend that sand and silt into the soil pocket. We don't mix it, we just layer it, just kind of just sprinkle it on top. Then work it down into that top portion, and this is where all the worms and everything will come up and turn that sand and silt into organic worm castings. And then that is what is going to feed our plants. This is the pad, nitrate pad we had stuck down. It's being cleaned right now by mites and isopods. You can see the mites, or maybe you can see the mites. They're little brown things, they're tiny. See them moving around there? Those are wood mites. They're good to, they're just breaking down organic matter is all they're doing. They're eating and shitting, which is exactly what we want. We want these guys to eat and shit all day long. That's how it works. The old poop loop. Everything eats and shits until we get all the way down to the bacteria and fungi in the soil. And the bacteria and the fungi are the only things that don't shit. So that's like the last in the chain. So you get all the way to the bacteria, and they're the ones that are mining the rock and the sand and the silt and the clay and the organic matter. They're mining that stuff. And then everything else comes along the next stage and eats the bacteria and the fungi. And then what they poop out is what the bacteria had eaten. So whatever the bacteria and the fungi are breaking down in the soil is what's being released to the plants. Kind of cool. This is the sativa. Of course, that's just the basics. There's a lot of chemistry going on. There's a lot of everything going on down there. We don't need to know all that shit. What I need to know is how to set it up. And once I set it up, it can do it on its own. Everything can just... This one's getting heavy too. She's starting to dangle. You know, all of these, everything in here is seeded. So all of these plants in here have seeds, which is exactly what we want. You can kind of see these seeds down here forming. Starting to see some seed pods popping up. Look at that seed right there. And that's what we're looking for. Because we want seeds. I don't trust the government. And they can change the rules just like anything. So, I would like to make my own and know how to make my own. This is the first time we're doing it on purpose. We accidentally did these like 3 years when we first started. I had purchased Nerds Genetics called Daddy Fat Sacks, and that was I'll take this leaf right here. That was Blue Dream Santa Cruz cut crossed with Airborne G13. And then the male was from Yellow Hammer Genetics, and that was called Blueberry Skank, which was Blueberry OG crossed with AK-47. That smells good. And so we got this. I call it Yellow Skunk. This will be F2s because we found a good male and from the Yellow Skunk, and we just let that male pollinate this whole room. And now the seeds that come from this one will be F2 Yellow Skunks. These here will be the Jolly Pond, this one and this one. And this is a sativa. So this will be a pure sativa crossed with a hybrid. And this female is a oh geez, it's a lot of stuff. I can't even remember. Let's go back here and look. This is from Jolly Pond Farms, and it's Marmalade Grove. Garlic Grove times Lametta Marmalade. So you can read that. It's cotton candy kush, which that is exactly what I smell. It's cotton candy and bubble gum. That's what it smells like. And then it's coffee cake crossed with Sky Cuddle Kush F3s, and it's got some GMO garlic cookies in there, some Legend Orange Apricot. That orange is in there for sure. So it was a Jolly Pond makes some good stuff. If you check him out, check their website out. We have a website, I just don't have anything on it right now. I haven't set it up. I've been too busy, and I'm not retired. I'm still in business, and business is booming right now, so we're busy as hell. And I'm going to try and build a whole new system over here this year. I don't know how far I'll get because business is just, like I said, it's more than usual. It's a good thing. It's a champagne problem. I ain't complaining, but it just takes away the time. So we'll get working on this probably as soon as the temperature warms up a little bit. We don't mind going outside and digging through rock piles in 20-degree weather. So when it hits like 50s, maybe 60s, we'll get out there, start gathering up some rock, which is supposed to be next week. So there's Plinko. Look how big he is compared to when we put him in. He was a baby, like no bigger than my finger. And now he's just a year old, and he's triple, quadrupled in size. So we're gonna have to add some water today too. Probably just 2 gallons of water is all we need. What do you think, Pooter and Scooter? Let's see, did I feed yesterday? No, I did not feed yesterday. I don't think I fed the other day either. So let's go ahead and give them a couple nuggets. That's not the right one. I gotta clean this shit up in here, man. This thing got no place to put nothing. That's my problem. Fucking running out of space. Alright, here. Come and get it. There you go. Pooter got it some. He got it some. Hurry up, Pooter, before the turtles get it all. Cooter, you know how they are. Look at him. Yum. Scooter don't even know yet. She's over here eating algae off the rock, which is good. That's exactly what we want her to do. We want a diverse diet of algae and all kinds of stuff. We don't feed pellets. We feed pellets once every 3 or 4 days. And the turtles look really healthy. We use that lactic acid bacteria in the pond, which helps keep everything in check. Game changer when it comes to cleaning and keeping the water clean without using a filtration box. We don't use filtration. The creek is our filter. So as long as we are filtering the creek a little bit, I use a nitrate pad, just a freshwater nitrate pad there. And then I use a Chemi Pure bag, which is just more biochar, shit like that, clays, different types of clay. And the water just runs through that and filters through it. Filters through here before it enters in back into the pond, and that keeps everything in check. Hopefully removing this stuff from the edge will relieve some of that water pressure through there. If not, we'll remove the rest of this dog fennel and see what happens. This stuff takes time though. I can't just, wait, a week. It's going to take, we'll probably finish this plant off for sure. We're not going to mess with it. And then the next plant we put in there, well, actually, before we do, I'm going to take a sample and send it off to my buddy, let him look at it, see what it looks like underneath the scope, because you'd be amazed at what you can find out underneath the microscope. I didn't believe it either, but damn if them boys and girls ain't got shit dialed in. I'll tell you what. They can tell you when you're going too wet. They can tell you when you're getting ready to go anaerobic. They can tell you when they're seeing bad bacteria, or not bacteria, but bad things. I'm not a scientist, so I can't speak on science really. The words just get me. I'm dyslexic as hell, so. But we don't need to know all that shit. We just need to know, like I said, how to set it up and how to maintain and manage. So a lot of this knowledge comes from like an aquarium, that you'll get the aquarium knowledge when you're running the pond and the creek. So the same basic principles of running a freshwater aquarium applies here. And then also, you're looking at living soil, you're looking at aquaponics, hydroponics, because of the wicking action coming up from the sand and the silt. The biology is off the chain, the diversity in plants, everything. You can see the dog fennel over here is going to seed and just drops freaking seed like crazy, which is fine. I just pull it up wherever I don't want it. Then we've got all the grasses, the different types of grass. The diachondra that drapes down into the creek, which the turtles eat. They keep that in check. So yeah, it's definitely interesting to see how everything reacts and how everything is progressing in a certain way, and how we have to really maintain just stewardship, just making sure things are not going awry, making sure things aren't compact, just going around and kind of chicken scratching things, just keeping things mobile and loose and aerated. A lot of the aeration in the soil is coming from this water flow. So the more air we get, like just my bee doing that, I'm putting air in the water. When it drops in from the mountain, gathering up air, aeration in the pond, drops back in, aeration. All these spots are aerating. Little spots like this that are rippling, picking up air. All these things, and then when that water is trapping that air inside the water molecule, it gets wicked up into the soil, which is creating aeration in the soil along the edges of the creek, which keeps everything nice and green, keeps it from going anaerobic, simply by aerating and keeping the creek flowing. As long as it's flowing and aerating, it will aerate the soil. Kind of like a compost tea all the time. It's going to be a good one right there. I like how it's stacking. I like the smell. It's just a lemon lime. Straight up lemon lime. It is unbelievable. Mr. Clean. So, that's all we got for today. I appreciate everybody hanging out. All we gotta do today is add a little water. Today's Friday, right? Oh yeah, today is Friday. Happy Friday. I hope everybody enjoys their Friday, and if we get a chance to go live in here today, we might do that. But if not, we'll see you tomorrow morning. Peace.